Blessings, a community of spouses. Listen, Coach T here with you today, and I want to share a follow up to yesterday's message. Yesterday, I spoke to you about your freedom walk, and how you should begin to pray and ask God to give you the freedom to accept your spouse's decision. You should ask God to give you the freedom to accept your spouse's decision. And today, I want to talk to you about relationship slash responsibility. Relationship slash responsibility. So, I mentioned to you about, how God gave me the okay to be, okay with my husband's decision about accident. And so today, I want to talk to you about the flip side of that. When not only when he exited, but when he would come back and forth. And so I want to share with you some key things to do in those times. In those times, if you're dealing with a spouse that may have, they're not certain where they want to be at right now. God haven't is not finished with them yet. They're not certain where they want to be at, and you kind of like looking at them like sideways. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me give you some tips to kind of like keep in mind during this process. If a spouse is there and has disconnected themselves from the marital covenant and they just there and you looking like so you have nothing to say, let me help you. Let me help you. One of the things that was very helpful to me during that time was to remain who I was, And doing so, it gave me an opportunity to build my relationship with Christ. It gave me an opportunity to build my relationship with Christ, my walk with Christ, deep in a sense where I was solely dependent on Him. It didn't, completely dependent on Him. And so when my spouse was doing that, the going in and coming out, going in and coming out, I continued to be me. I continued to be wife. I continued to be Tanika. I continued to be mother. I continued to be sister. I continued to be friend. And that is one of the things that you have to do. Now, for some odd reason, and I don't know why, but my husband likes to see me like cooking and cleaning and keeping the house up and seeing attending to the kids. Like he loved that. He loved that. And so one of the things I used to press in on when I knew he was coming or if he was there, I will make sure that everything was tiptoe okay in that house. Tiptoe okay. Now listen, I'm gonna share with y'all a little thing that my mother taught me back in the day growing up. And she's always telling me one thing you want to always make sure that you're doing. You want to also always make sure that your house either smell like some bleach or you got something in the background cooking. And if you ain't cooking, put something on like you are cooking. So she would tell me to put some onions on. Go in there and cook some onions and make the house smell like you down there just getting it in. You may not be doing nothing, but just look like you're doing something. And so that was something that I took over into my marriage. And so growing up, of course, that was just something that, my mom, I witnessed her do that. And so I took that same trait over into my marriage. And so when my husband would come, I would cook his favorite dish. I would make sure the house was in tip top order. I would be making sure the kids were, wouldn't, aggravate him, leave him alone. I wanted him to come back home in peace. I wanted him to come back home in peace. And it wasn't me that wanted that. It was the God in me that wanted that for him. Because, again, this is not something that you can do in your own strength. God has to give you the signal. He has to place that grace in you to do these type of things because it can be hard. It can be hard. It can be frustrating. And the one thing we can get caught up in is why I'm doing this and you out there doing whatever. Why I'm doing this and you out there with whoever. Why I'm doing this, you may be sleeping with this person or doing these things or doing that or whatever. Listen, spouses, you can't get caught up in that. You get caught up in that, you're gonna miss out and you're gonna lose your spouse to whoever it is that is out there, and whoever it is that is attending to them while they're not home. You want to make home when they come. You don't want to be flipping off in the lips. And I was bad at it at one point, where every time he walked through that door, I had something to say. Oh, you going to hear my point of view. I'm going to get this off my chest. Why I got you here, because I don't know how long I'm going to have you here. And so while you're here, I'm going to say everything I need to say to you. No, 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 spouses. You can't do that. You can't do that. And this is for husband and wife. For husband and wife. You want to make their home experience, and this is what I'm going to call it. You want to make their home experience as comfortable, as peaceful, as loving, as relaxed as it can be. You don't want to bring any more injury that's already been caused. This is what they call a suffered wrong, ignoring a suffered wrong. You want to make sure that you're doing your part in complete order. I used to make sure my husband had his favorite meal, whether he ate it or not. I made sure the place where he laid his head at was nice, neat, and clean. I made whether he stayed long or not. I made sure that the home was clean. I made sure the environment was clean, because when you do that, that's a oh, I'm coming back here. Oh, just like if you was to go to a nice restaurant or a nice hotel and it was nice and they treated you well, and the hospitality is real good, and things was right. You saying, oh, I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna come back here. Listen, spouses, you have to treat your spouse, the wayward spouse, the prodigal spouse, the spouse that is not certain about what they want to do at this time. You have to treat your spouse like a guest. And you want to make sure when they come back, when they're in your presence, that they are memorized about what the experience that they had. Oh my God, the dinner was nice. Oh my God, the home was clean. Oh my God, I was treated like a king, or I was treated like a queen. Oh my God, how can I be this way towards this person, and they're treating me this way? You want to make their experience there awesome, great, memorable. So when they are out and about and doing whatever they do, that's a awesome time for you to be in prayer, and the Holy Spirit tap on their shoulder and remind them about where they just came from and what they just left and what they do have. Listen, I know some people don't understand this, but that is a warfare tactic. That is a warfare tactic. The enemy is going to try you. He's going to come for you. He is going to make you feel all kinds of ways. He's going to make you toot your nose up and look at your spouse all kinds of ways ugly. He's going to make you say some things that you didn't think you even had in your vocabulary to say. But let me tell you something. If you fight the good fight, if you ask God to give you the strength, Lord, this person coming home today, and I don't really know how to deal with this person. And you can't deal with that person at that time. You may have to just give that person space. And in that time, you give them space. You set the environment, you set the setting, you make sure everything is well, you make sure the house is full with groceries and the stuff that they like and they enjoy eating. Leave that person be. You go into another room, and that is that. You have to do what worked for you. But one thing you do not want to do is give into temptation to the enemy by when that person come into your space or in your environment, that you are shutting them down, that you are tearing them down, that you are breaking them down. They already know they messing up. They already know they're wrong. They already know. You don't have to engage in conversation with them about the wrongs that they're doing, about the things that they're doing. Even if they try to engage with you, you have to constantly be on guard, be on watch, and asking God to give you the supernatural strength to be able to handle your spouse, your prodigal, your wayward spouse that's going through these moments and these times, as you give them their space to come to themselves. Listen, I hope that message has been a blessing to you. Blessings.